Hi everyone, in this quick video tutorial I'll be showing you how to use Adobe Bridge to access some of the advanced AE presets. You don't have to use any of these for your projects, any of these effects, but for those of you who are interested, these are the steps that you would need to take. So first, you need to create your project. Make sure you have a folder and save your project within that folder. And then you want to, from the presets, you want to make sure you're on Effects and Presets tab here. And you see that there's a whole bunch of them. It's a background effect, image effect, shapes effect, text effect, and transitional effects. So I'm gonna just show you a few of these, and I will be covering them more in depth in the advanced motion design class in spring. So I have a text animation preset here, the composition, and I have a background animation here as well. So the first thing you want to do, you want to go to your animation and click on Browse Presets. So this would launch Adobe Bridge, and now these would be the presets. So for example, I can click on my text and you have all kinds of different types of animation within the text. Let's say you want to have a blur in animation, so maybe blur by word, and it gives you a preview what it would look like. In the past, you could have double clicked on this effect and it would have loaded it onto the actual AE page. It no longer lets you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just I have some text here. So you're not going to be able to simply double click. It's going to give you an error message like this. But what you could do, and what you should actually be doing, is first identify the text that the animation you're interested in, blur by word. So I'm going to come back here, go to my text, go to blur and fade in. I want this one. You just simply grab it and drop it on your layer. So now when you click it, you'll see that it's going to give you this animation. And then if you open it up, it's under effects, and these are all the different effects that it's using. And you can change, you can modify it, you can make it play faster, you can make it play slower. So this engine is extremely powerful. Another thing that you could do is you can add, so again, you want to preview them here, and then you can go back here and you can maybe choose another setting. And you can add to this. So I'm going to come back to my background and I'm going to grab this effect. It says Cosmic Power. So I'm going to come back to my background, go to Cosmic Power, and I'm going to drag it onto the text or drag it on the layer, either or, but it needs to highlight like this. Now you could see that not only I have my text fading in, it also has that animation being played in the background. And I can simply go back in here and maybe just play with the levels, maybe make it a little brighter, or maybe even change the color. Maybe instead of black, I'm gonna just do like a darker blue, so I can see the text better. So, or you could simply have maybe add it to a background. So if I come back here, maybe this is my background animation, I'm just going to add a new solid, maybe I'll just change it to some like a black or whatever. It doesn't really matter once you have that the setting applied to it. So if I come back here, I'm gonna choose maybe curtain. Now you could have this curtain effect, and again you can simply go back down here, and so it's using fractal noise and tritone color. I can simply go back and change it to some other color if I wanted to. So you can modify these however you wish, and then I can simply come back. I'm gonna change this as well, and I can also come back here and change the settings on my, just play around with some of these settings, and you'll just automatically get a completely different effect, as you can kind of see. So I like the swirly that the original thing was using, but again you can modify these to whatever you feel that would be more appropriate with your animation. So so another one would be, so that would be the background animation, and I can just, if you don't like the effect, you can just come back and get rid of it, and then I can just go and maybe add something else. I like the block one, and you can add these also to your text. And basically you have a lot of different options here. So the most important thing that you want to remember is, first you want to go to effects and presets, and then you want to launch, if you go up here, you go to animation browse presets, which launches Adobe Bridge, and then you double click and you pick like an effect that you like. So this is circuit, so I can come back here and just double click circuit as well. So just turn this on. I think I was in the wrong option here. I'm gonna make my text larger, and you can see that the circuit effect is now applied to my text, and basically it's just going to animate inside of the text option. So the one thing again that you want to remember is that all these effects would be under, it adds it automatically to the effects panel here, and you can go ahead and modify them however you see fit based on your project. So let's say if I want to not invert this, you could see like the actual text on the white color, but when I invert it, you see that it gets outlined. I can also change the complexity. I can also, there's all these different options that I can modify. So first you'll go to effect, animation, browse presets. You pick an effect that you think is best suited for your projects. Let's say you want to do some animating in, maybe you want to fade something in. If I if you double click it, it's not going to work. You have to just check the name, so that would be fade upward, and I'm gonna go to my effects, and I'm going to go to my animate in, and I'm going to go to fade upwards. You want to just drag it so it gets highlighted. So now you can kind of see that if I just now move that, the ending of the text, the range, I would be able to see that other one too. So fade of text here, there we go. So I encourage you to you know, explore these settings. And also, again, remember that a lot of the options that these presets include are things that we've already done. For example, when we learned about the range selector with animating text here. So if you want something to play faster, you move it closer to each other. If you want it to play slower, you move it further away from each other. And so the one option that I don't want you to play around with would be the 3D text, because it's very memory intensive and it can crash your system. But the transitional effects are really fun, and again, the first step is for you to choose browse the presets. So you launch Adobe Bridge, and then you want to identify so I'm going to go to the presets. These are the After Effects one. So some of these transitional effects are also really interesting. So just have fun, you know, look at some of these options and see if there is something that you see that you think it could be appropriate for your project. You can use them. And the shape ones are really fun too. So these are the background. So these would be applied to shape layers. So again, let's say you want to do sunburst. All you have to do, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to actually turn this layer off. Make a new, I can do a new comp. Call it shape layers, and then make sure I have a shape in there, and then now I'm gonna go to the shapes option, and I'm going to choose spiral. Actually, I think it was, let's see here, what was the name? It was the sunburst. So it's in shapes background. So it's in this one. And it's this one. So you just drag it. And now when I play it, you can kind of see this animation happening. And you could, like I said, you can go in there and, you know, modify, you know, you can modify the colors, you can modify the path, you can modify the fill. So these are all the options that you have available to you. So if I want to do the background, let's say I don't want the yellow, I can simply click and choose a different color. And even I can animate it as well. So these are, like I said, you can have a whole lot of options to modify and customize your these settings. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you incorporate some of these options in your projects.